This is everything you need to know about water softeners. After 32 years in the water treatment business, what is the biggest misconception about water softeners? In simple terms, what is a water softener and what problems does it solve? The main function of a water softener is to remove hard water from your water supply. What is hard water and why do people need to soften it? Well, hard water is calcium buildup or calcium in your water supply, which is natural limestone, magnesium, and calcium, and it can cause scale buildup in your plumbing and water using appliances, which is going to cost you a lot of money in the end. How does a water softener work? Well, number one, this is our Fleck 5600 SXT digital 64,000 grain water softener. And basically this is installed after your well tank, or if you're on city water, it's installed where the water comes into your home. And basically what happens, this tank is filled with small resin beads and they have a positive charge. And as the water passes through, it pulls all the hardness out just like a magnet and stores it inside the tank. And every so often it has to regenerate itself. And based on water usage, it'll go into regeneration and it'll exchange calcium for sodium, and that's your salt tank there, and it'll pull a salt solution in and gently rinse the resin beads with a salt solution. Then it rinses the salt solution out and gets it ready for its next period of operation. What symptoms should a homeowner look for that tells them that they have a hard water problem? First and foremost, it's visual. You can see white scale buildup or white water spots on your bathroom fixtures, on your kitchen faucet, and in your kitchen sink. Some of the other symptoms of hard water are scale buildup in the plumbing and the water using appliances, which typically you can't see, but over time it'll build up in the pipe and it'll slowly close that pipe up and reduce your pressure. It can also shorten the life of your hot water heater. Scale buildup occurs on the heating elements inside the hot water heater to the point where it doesn't heat the water anymore. You also can get dry, itchy skin, lather buildup when you take a shower, when you shampoo your hair, it's hard to rinse out. It also makes over time, it'll make your laundry really dingy and gray. Like if you have a bunch of white towels, they'll start to get like a dingy gray color over time. So adding a water softener is the one and the most important way to fix this problem. People ask, at what level of hard water do I need to install a water softener? Appliance manufacturers recommend at levels of 7 grains per gallon and above, they recommend you install a water softening system. People ask, what type of water softeners actually exist? There's single tanks like we have here. There's dual tank systems that are controlled by one valve. There's cabinet style systems where the actual tank is inside a small cabinet and everything, it's like an all-in-one unit, which can help save space. Typically, we prefer the single tank unit like we have here with a separate salt tank. It's much more effective and much more efficient. Single tank softeners versus dual tank softeners. What's the real difference? Well, they both work the same way as far as softening the water, but with a dual tank, it gives you constant soft water, which means if it's in backwash mode at 2 a.m. or 4 a.m. and you go to flush the toilet, it's already switched to the second tank. So you have constant soft water. You never run out of soft water. You have no hard water bleed through. And to be honest, in most applications, there's really no need for a dual tank system. It's just an option that customers have. Single tank works amazingly well. It takes up less space and it's very effective and it's very efficient. People seem to search for salt-free water softeners more than anything else. Here's the difference between the two. With a salt-free conditioner, you have a media called FilterSorb SP3, a very small amount in the bottom of the tank. And when water flows through the tank, it flows up from the bottom, it lifts the FilterSorb up and it creates a wall. And as the water passes through the wall, it converts the dissolved hard water into a crystal so it can't attach itself to your plumbing and water using appliances. It has its limitations. It can only handle up to 25 grains of hardness per gallon of water. And every 3 years or so, you have to replace the media in the tank, which is fairly expensive to do. That means you have to take the tank outside, dump it out, clean it, and put more new FilterSorb SP3 in the bottom of the tank. Whereas with the salt-based water softener, the resin that's inside of it has an infinite life, and it only regenerates based on water used. And your ongoing cost is buying salt, which a 40-pound bag of salt pellets at Walmart is about $8. Now, people ask me, should I get a salt-based system or should I get a salt-free system? We typically recommend the salt-based system. It's less expensive to maintain. Now, there are certain situations where you have to, if you definitely need to remove the hard water from your water supply. The option of salt-free comes in where you don't have a drain line, you don't have electric, absolutely no way you can hook up a backwashing type unit, because with a salt-based system, you do need to backwash. You do have to have a drain for your regeneration discharge. So in that case, a salt-free system might come into play. But whenever possible, we typically recommend the salt-based system. What size water softener do you need? Now, it can be very confusing because you're going to get different results. Your water could be 3 grains per gallon hard, or it could be 25 grains per gallon hard. The best thing to do is to contact us with your water test results, and we'll help you choose the right size water softener. People ask, how much does a water softener cost? The cost may vary. There's mechanical units, there's electronic demand units like you see here, which are more expensive, but they're more efficient. They waste less water, they use less salt. Basically, there's also units that you buy at Lowe's or Home Depot. They're usually a tank design, like a cabinet style tank. They get the job done, but the quality's not the same, and they don't last as long. The warranties aren't the same, and you don't have the backup of a company like ours if you have a tech support situation where you need to call somebody and work out a problem. Based on past experiences with Lowe's and Home Depot, that's not going to happen. You're not going to get good tech support. Not to say anything bad about them, but that's just reality. People ask, what are the ongoing costs of having a water softener? Well, basically, the water softener maintains itself. Your only cost basically is to keep salt in the salt tank. And me personally, I use plain pellet salt. I get it at Walmart. It's $8 a bag. We don't sell salt because you can get it much cheaper at Walmart, Lowe's, or Home Depot than you can buy it from us. But basically, $8 per month, or maybe $16 per month. If you use a lot of water, you're going to use more salt. People ask, what does the water softener maintenance look like? Well, basically, once or twice every month, you're going to go down to the water softener, take the lid off the unit, off the salt tank itself, dump in a 40-pound bag of pellets, and basically put the lid back on, and you're done. People ask, how does regeneration in the water softener work? Well, basically, every so often, the resin beads inside, after a certain amount of water usage, they're going to become exhausted. And based on gallons used, the computer inside the valve tracks water usage, and based on the hardness you program into the unit and the capacity of the unit, this being a 64,000 grain, it's going to tell itself, hey, the bed's almost exhausted, it's time for regeneration. So basically, it goes into a backwash where the Vortec tank lifts and spins the media and separates it, cleans all the dirt and sediment out of it that might get into it, and then it goes to what they call a brine draw. The solution for the salt tank is slowly rinsed through the bed and recharges the bed and gets it ready for its next period of operation. Then it goes to a rapid rinse where it rinses all the excess salt solution out, and after that it goes back into normal service where it's ready for normal operation. And after the rapid rinse, it's going to refill the brine tank. It'll go into what we call a brine fill, and it'll add a certain amount of water to the brine tank, so the next time it needs to go into regeneration, it's ready to go. People ask, how long can I expect a water softener to last? Well, basically, a unit like this, the tank pretty much is going to last forever. It doesn't really degrade that much. It's made a specific way to withstand pressure over time and usage and all that good stuff. But basically, the resin inside, we've had customers that have had systems that were replaced that they were actually still working, they just weren't real efficient. But the resin was 40 years old and still taking a charge from the salt and still removing hardness from the water. So basically, we always tell customers the resin itself has an infinite life. The tank has an infinite life. The valve is going to experience some wear and tear, and you may have to replace some parts 10, 15, 20 years down the road. People ask, what are the most common water softener mistakes? Well, number one is buying the wrong size unit. Number two is trying to use water softener to remove iron, because iron shortens the life of the resin. Number three is people buy the cheap version. They buy whatever they can find cheapest online, or if they go to Lowe's and Home Depot and they get that water softener that's $600. Remember, you get what you pay for. So the best thing to do is get your water tested and then call us, and we'll help you choose the right water softener, the right size water softener. Water softeners, well water versus city water, what's the difference? So let's start with well water. One of the biggest things we sell are acid neutralizers for acidic well water, and that's all over the country. The way that the neutralizer works, it uses a natural limestone media. As the water passes through, it comes in contact with the limestone media. It raises the pH, but at the same time, it adds hardness to the water, and it can increase it at an average of 4 to 6 grains per gallon. In that situation, if you have 7 to 10 or 15 grains per gallon of water after the acid neutralizer, you're going to want to add a water softener too to remove that hardness, so you have soft water running through the house as well as balanced pH water. So, other than well water, if you're on a city water supply, typically you're going to have chlorine in the water and you're going to have a certain amount of hardness in the water. Like in my house, we're on what they call a community well, and the water is extremely hard because they treat it to raise the pH. And after they treat it, the water is about 15 grains per gallon hard. So we have this same size softener in our home to treat the water. So if you're on city water, don't think, oh, the city or the municipality is taking care of it for me. They're not. They're just making it safe to drink by EPA standards, which are very very weak. And the best thing to do is get your water tested, find out how hard it is, and then call us and we'll help you choose the right water softener. Where does the softener fit in a full-scale water treatment system? Well, basically, it's usually last in line. In this situation, we have a pH of 6, 2 parts per million of iron in the water. So basically, we're going to take the iron out first with our 2510 AIO iron filter system, and then we're going to go through the neutralizer to raise the pH to 7. And at the same time that it's bringing this pH up to 7, it's imparting hardness into the water, so we want to take that out as well. So we have the softener last in line to remove all the hardness in the water, so you have nice filtered, clean, balanced pH, iron-free, soft water running through all the plumbing and water using appliances in your house, and better water for drinking and cooking and bathing. Can a water softener remove iron? People ask that all the time. And at low levels, yeah, it can, but the downside is it shortens the life of the resin and eventually it's going to fail, and you basically should have put an iron filter before the water softener. You always want to take iron out with a dedicated iron filter and then add the water softener last in line. What about drinking soft water? Is it safe? Sure, it's safe. I've been drinking soft water for the 32 years I've been in the industry. We cook with it, we make coffee with it, we water our plants and flowers in the summertime and our grass with it, and they thrive. So there's no chance of or no downside to drinking soft water. People also ask, how much salt does a softener add to the water? Years ago in the industry, I read a report where the softener only adds about as much salt to a gallon of water as you get out of 2 slices of white bread. Now, if you're concerned about it and you absolutely have to install a water softener, you can always install a reverse osmosis at the kitchen sink, and that will remove all the sodium from the water. People ask me, what should I look for when I'm buying a water softener? Well, basically, you have to get a water test done first, find out how much hardness is in your water supply, and then from there, you can call a local water treatment company or give us a call, and we'll help you find the appropriate size water softener for your family, your how many bathrooms you have, based on people in your home, etc. Now, there's different types of water softeners. There's mechanical, there's electronic demand, 32,000 grain, 48,000 grain, 64,000 grain. We always recommend going bigger is better because you get more capacity. It has to backwash less often and uses less salt and discharges less water. So basically, the best thing to do is once you have your water tested, call us with the results and we'll help you out. Now, there's another thing you want to take into consideration when shopping for a water softener is what type of resin is that company using? Are they using 8% resin? Or are they using 10% cross-link resin? We typically use 10% cross-link resin in all our water softeners, so it covers all the bases, whether you're on well or city water. People ask about the warranty on our water softening systems. The warranty is a standard manufacturer's warranty, 10-year warranty on the tank against manufacturer's defects, and 5 years on the valve against manufacturer's defects. What should you avoid when buying a softener? After hearing the information I just gave you, basically you want to get something that's made in America. Fleck, the valve that we use most often, is always been number one in the industry. Clack also makes a good valve. They're made in the United States, and you have to be careful because products that are being imported now from overseas and other countries don't have the same quality as the American-made products. People ask me, what would I install in my own home? Basically, I'm on what they call a community well, which is one well supplies the whole neighborhood at high flow rates, but they treat the pH, treat it with chlorine as well. So you have hard water and you have high levels of chlorine in the water. I have the same water softener that you see here, and after that, the water comes in my house, goes through the water softener first, and then it goes through the carbon filter, and the carbon filter cleans up all the chlorine and the chlorine byproducts and gives me good drinking water, good soft water throughout the entire house. How can you get help with your specific situation? The best thing to do if you want to contact us, get your water tested first, and then you can text me with the results at 443-277-2204, or you can go on our website at www.midatlanticwater.net. We have an online chat, or you can call us at 1-800-460-5810. We're available Monday through Sunday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and we also take text up until 7 p.m. 7 days a week.